partial government shutdown enters its second month, furloughed workers are getting help from businesses and organizations. A rock star and a governor. Monica Guy has more.
Bill, a lot of the people impacted by the federal shutdown are the breadwinners for their family, and as you can imagine, going without a paycheck can be quite a strain. Well, two of New Jersey's most influential women are coming together to serve the community. One of them even brought along her husband.
I don't think many people understand how many people in our state, let alone our country, live paycheck to paycheck. And in this instance, these people, they're good people. A lot of them are being made to show up for work even though they're not getting paid.
First Lady Tammy Murphy and rock star wife Dorothea Jovi put together a free lunch for furloughed federal workers.
We try to help people where they can come and get a nice meal and find out about other resources that they might qualify for.
Along with a meal at the Soul Kitchen restaurant in Red Bank, folks got a chance to talk with other federal employees going through the same thing.
I'm hoping to just, maybe meet some other federal employees, feel like a family, and we're all here together.
Governor Phil Murphy arrived after attending a Martin Luther King event in Elizabeth. He said his family's charitable foundation could sponsor other events.
We're going to see how this goes, and if this ridiculous shutdown continues, we may try to do other things like this.
The event was such a success today that the ladies are planning another lunch program on Wednesday at the Soul Kitchen location in Toms River. And Bill, furloughed federal workers in New Jersey and New York could be eligible for unemployment and other public assistance. The website for New Jersey is nj.gov/labor. If you're in New York, head to labor.ny.gov. Reporting for Chasing News, I'm Monica Guy. Bill?
Thanks, Monica. So many amazing people helping as this situation gets more and more dire. We're going to bring back our A-plus panel. Allison Young, Republican strategist, Peter Brown, Linden Councilman. Guys, is there any hope of solving this government shutdown at this point? You have been on council for a number of years. You've been able to work with your colleagues. You've had stalemates. You've had a resist. What do you do? I mean, how do you get to yes?
I think we go back to the basics, Bill. I remember when, as a legislative aide, when you had Democrats working with Republicans, you focused on policies and principles. I think nowadays you have people who are quick to play politics, whether Democrats or Republicans, out on this whole social media platform that we've gotten away from the key issue. Our government needs to run.
Allison, you worked on the Hill.
Yeah, I spent 15 years in Washington. I worked in Congress. I worked in the administration. I've been on both sides of this. The only way to actually get something done is for people to actually sit down at the table together. What we saw over the weekend is the president putting forth a proposal that is palatable to most Republicans, not all, but the Democrats and Nancy Pelosi immediately saying no. And the way that we get through this is by everyone actually coming and literally to a table and sitting down. And so what you start to do is suggest things like, well, maybe we can't get everything we want right now, but let's try a pilot program. Let's get something in here for 3 years. That might make you come a little further this way. You can't just draw a line in the sand and say, I want everything the way I want it right now. And that's where Nancy Pelosi, I think, is overplaying her hand.
You have two sides here. I mean, boil this down. You've got a Republican answer and a Democratic answer. It doesn't seem that either side, though, is willing to budge. The Democrats now are apparently working on their own plan. Is there any way that they can come together, though, and put partisan politics aside?
You have a solution that one senator proposed, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, about opening up the government for another 3 weeks. That way they can hammer out the details of a plan, but yet have the government moving forward.
The job of Congress is to make the laws for our country. They are lawmakers. They are not resistance fighters. Like, this is ridiculous. They actually have a job to do. And fundamentally, let's get back for what they're there for.
Well, hopefully what we get is a temporary end to this mess. They can sort out the details. It doesn't look like any end's in sight at this point, though.